Hey everyone, welcome to Data Millennials. I'm Atul, and in this video we are going to discuss how we can apply or use power function using calculated field in Looker or Google Data Studio. So as you can see here, we have a graph and a table which shows price in 10 years, price in 20 years. Same we have in graph price in 10 years, in 20 years. But in my raw data, I have a table over here and I have the list of columns and one of the column which shows the unit price over here in column D. Now suppose you need to raise a number to a specific power to calculate the future price, then how would you do it? So let's assume an example that for this specific category 1, what would be the price after 10 years and what would be the price after 20 years? So how can we calculate it in Google Data Studio? Now you can assume that a researcher came to you and told you that after 10 years the price will be 5 to the power of the current price. So for example, the current price of this item on this particular date was 2 rupees, or you can say $2, right? Now after 10 years from this date, the price will be 5 to the power of this 2. So if I add a column over here and gives you an example, suppose that this 2 is actually X, okay? Consider it as X. Now what I'm saying, or what the researcher is saying, is that the price after 10 years for this item or this category on this particular date after 10 years will be 5 to the power of X, which is 5 to the power of X. Okay, now this X is 2, so we are basically saying 2 to the power of 5. And then after 20 years what will happen is that the price will be 10 to the power of this price, which is 5 to the power of X. So now consider this is y equal to this, okay, where X is the value which is this 2. Then we are gonna say 10 to the power of y will be the value after 20 years, and we need to calculate it in Looker or Data Studio, and we need to show that price. Then how we can do this? So that is what we are going to do in this video. We'll create this table over here where we are going to apply the power function with a calculated field from scratch, so that you can get the idea that how you can use this power function within a calculated field to calculate the future prices, or you can use the power function to calculate the values. So what I'm going to do over here is that I'm going to click on this edit button first, and then I'm going to add a new page so that I can show you how we can do this from scratch. And I'm going to copy this header so that I don't need to copy it again or make it again. Okay, did I copy it? The entire graphs? Yes. So let me remove these. Let me delete it. Okay. So I need to copy this and this. Let me increase the size of this one. Okay. So now I have a data over here. Okay. I'm just going to remove these two columns. And the ask is quite simple, saying that after 10 years what will be the price of this category, and after 20 years what will be the price of category, where the condition is given is that the price will be 5 to the power of this value, and then after 10 years the price will be 10 to the power of the value which is 10 years, right? So I'm gonna read this data, but in this report I already have data, as I have already used it over here to show you in the starting of the video, this graph and this table. So I'm not going to read the data again, but if you need to read the data, then you can come over here, add data, and then you can add your data, right? So I'm just going to do this table first, which is over here. Okay, so I'm going to include a table which is this, and increase the size of this table. Now by default, Data Studio or Looker has already taken the data source. But if you want to change the data source, then you can come over here under the setup section. You can click over here and select your data based on your requirement. But for me, it's already have taken this data, so I'm not going to change it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you the option that how you can use the calculated field or add the calculated field with power function. There are two ways to do this. First, I'm going to remove this dimension, which is category, because in my table I have dates over here. So I'm going to take date in my table as my first dimension. Then as a metric, I'm going to take this unit price. So I have date now, I have unit price now. I need to add these two columns, price in 10 years and price in 20 years. So there are two ways to do this using calculated field. First, I'm going to select this table and then I'm going to click on add metric, and then I can click on create a field. Then I have to give name of the field, and then I can give the formula power. Okay, and then I need to give the values over here. So when you see this X and Y over here in power, then X is a literal parameter, a field or an expression containing at least one field. Same, the Y is a literal number or a field or an expression containing at least one field. So this power is an arithmetic function in Looker which returns the result of raising a number to a specified power. So we can do it over here, but I'm not going to do it over here because I need to use these two columns, price in 10 years and price in 20 years, in my graph also. So I'm going to add a calculated field in the data itself, which I have over here. So I can click on add a field. Then I can give the name. You can see over here, example new calculated field. So I can give the name over here. So I can put price in 10 years. And then I'm going to give the formula, which is power. Okay. Now I need to give the arguments. So the first argument is the price, unit price. So I have given unit price. Okay, that's a mistake. I need to give unit price, and then I need to put the power value, which is 5. And then I can come down and click on save. The moment I'll click on save, you will see that it has been saved, and then I need to click on this finished. So when I click on finished, you will see that you have a new column over here which says price in 10 years. I can simply select this table, and then I can take this column, which is my calculated field, and I can put it over here, which shows price in 10 years. Similarly, I'm going to add another calculated field for price in 20 years. So I'm going to say price in 20 years. Then I'm going to put a formula power. Then my first value will be the field, which is price in 10 years. Okay, so I have price in 10 years. Then I need to give the power value, which is 10. Then I'm going to click on save. Once it's saved, calculated field saved, you can see that I do not have any syntax error over here. Then I can click on finish, and you will see that you have a new column over here, price in 20 years. So I can simply select this table and drag this new calculated field over here, which is showing me the price in 20 years. Now if I want to use these calculated column in a graph, then I can come over here on add a chart, select this chart. You can select any of the chart. Then for this chart, I'm going to select the dimension as date only. My metric, I'll select the unit price as my first metric, and then I'm going to select this price in 10 years and price in 20 years over here. Okay, I think I replaced the unit price, so I'm going to add unit price also over here. Okay, I'll put it on the top. So now I have unit price, price in 10 years and price in 20 years. So this graph doesn't seem similar to this graph because we need to style this graph a little bit. So let me select this graph, come to style, then series 1 as line. I'll select point, show points and show data level. Then I'm gonna say series 2, show points and show data level. I'm gonna select the axis as right for this one, as well as series 3 for show data level, show points, and on right. Now the next thing that I need to do is take the compact number for everything. So now this graph looks similar that I have a graph in my page 1 over here. So this is how basically you can use power function with a calculated field in Looker. Happy learning and see you in the next video.